What can be built in a world made of steel and flesh, light and dark? A world alien to us. A world post an apocalyptic event of eldritch horror. This is Franzen, the world of Franzen. In our search for new content, new ways to stimulate our never-ending appetite for new entertainment, we often seek innovation. One of my favorite genres is the RPG. Any kind of RPG, really. But I have a soft spot for the Japanese-style role-playing game. And I know I'm not alone in this love for the role-playing genre. But how many times can we kill the same monsters, travel through the same European-inspired lands, and do the same tasks? After a while of role-playing in familiar lands, you want to find something new, unexplored and fresh. I am not saying that the familiar or the well-known is bad, but sometimes we seek something innovative, something extraordinary, because we can grow only outside of our comfort zone. There is a reason why players remember Morrowind so fondly. It wasn't just because of its gameplay or story, it was primarily because of its world and its atmosphere. Morrowind's world was alien and different, but also alluring and enchanting, like a beautiful but foreign love interest. Can a world like the one of Morrowind be created with a simple tool like the RPG Maker? A world like that and more, the world of Franzen. Franzen is a freeware game made with the RPG Maker 2003. And by the name of it, you might recognize how old this engine is. You can save anywhere, and most importantly, the game doesn't have random encounters. The enemies are visible on the map, and the combat starts when the enemy touches you. Franzen uses the standard combat system and the menu of the RPG Maker 2003. It doesn't have a traditional leveling system, however. You get no experience points from combat, only money. The way to improve your characters is through a specific item that you get at certain points in a narrative. And later on, you can also buy these items for a lot of money. In other words, the gameplay, besides the leveling system, is very basic and bare bones, but it's not the star of the show. In this video, I want to tell you about the graphics, the story, the world, and the music of Franzen. Which brings me to my first point. The first thing you see are the graphics. They are of a darker color palette and have a metallic look to them, which is on purpose, for metal is a part of this world in a sense. The world of Franzen looks alive, but in an artificial way. Pipelines and metallic apparatuses can be found everywhere. A steampunk society that lives in a city reaching into the sky, reminiscent of films like Metropolis or games like Final Fantasy VI. Later on in the story, the environments take on a more organic, almost Giger-esque look, artificially beautiful yet haunting in their unnatural appearances. The second thing one notices is the sprite works. The creatures lurking around in this world are not human. They are humanoid in appearance, but not human. There is the Galen species, red-skinned tailed creatures. The Narian, which look like dragon-esque lizard people. The small folk of caterpillar people. And the mechanical people that are replacing their skin with metal plating, among others. Besides the odd environments and the extraordinary people, you'll also find plenty of terrifying monsters. While not looking much on the overworld, they look amazing in combat, especially the bosses. Behemoths of flesh and steel that will challenge you. Amazing and imaginative sprite works by the developer Scumhead. As for cutscenes, the game uses pictures as flashbacks and creates a very interesting effect with that. These cutscenes feel more like memories or flashes of emotions. And emotions are the key word for the next segment, the music. The foreboding, beautiful, and haunting theme of the title screen draws you into this unfamiliar and alien world, which ironically enough is also one of the names of this beautiful piece, World Map. Some pieces of the soundtrack don't have a clear melody, but are more atmospheric and subdued in their sound. They add to the surreal nature of this world. One of my favorite tracks is the theme named Akon. It starts out as a very classy theme with the harpsichord as the main instrument. Then a melody is added to the piece. This melody has a cunning feel to it, something that is yet to come, something that smells of betrayal and villainy. A later addition are the drums, the rhythm of which brings a military feeling to the piece. These elements are fitting the scenario perfectly, because the Akon theme is played in the central city of the game and a lot of story beats take place in this city. The theme creates a foreboding atmosphere of danger, royalty, and military might. Other themes have an almost industrial sound to them. They sound like the buzzing of machines and the echoes of whimpering souls, lost within an endless factory made out of steel and flesh. Another absolute favorite of mine is the theme within a dungeon. This theme combines ambient sounds and electronic elements, combined with a church organ. A theme as haunting as it is beautiful. I can't reveal the name of this theme because it would be a heavy spoiler, but you can hear it in the background. And you can find the soundtrack of Franzen on YouTube. By seeing how long I talked about the soundtrack, you can probably tell how good the tracks are and how much I enjoyed them. The music, from what I understand, was composed by Scumhead, the developer of the game, and it is an important part of this world. Actually, every aspect of Franzen serves the world building, except for two, the gameplay and the story. Speaking of which, the story of Franzen is not bad, it's just very basic. If I would name you certain points from the narrative, most of you would think of something very exciting. The story is about society, an empire, an apocalyptic event, love, friendship and honor, acceptance and tolerance between different races, betrayal and high treason. And all of that coupled with a lot of fights against cool-looking monsters. That sounds pretty neat, huh? Well, unfortunately the actual story is rather simple and generic. I won't give away too much, but there were not too many twists and turns or memorable moments in the narrative, at least not for me. It's a solid narrative, and the way it is told is rather unique, but it's nothing you've never seen before, is what I'm trying to say. The thing I want to praise about the narrative, however, is that Franzen doesn't waste your time. The pacing moves at breakneck speed, and the story is all meat with zero fat on it. And I mean this in a good way. The story slows down if the characters need time for a heartfelt moment, but then the plot moves on very quickly. The only gripe I have with the plot, outside of it being so basic, would be that the characters accept new world-shattering facts about themselves and their past rather quickly. I wish the characters would have more time to breathe and come to terms with their new circumstances. I also wish that the abilities of the characters would be more woven into the narrative. The two main characters, Franzen and Lefsa, are scientists, technomancers to be exact. It would be great to see them solve problems in a more scientific way. My favorite character was the knight, Sir Dane, a mechanical man, and the character with the most development in the story, I would say. But to experience that character arc, you will have to play this game yourself. I can wholeheartedly recommend this game. It's a showcase for the fact that RPG Maker games don't have to be bad. They can be great experiences with unique worlds and settings, a beautiful and haunting soundtrack, and an art style that can compare itself with the greats like Final Fantasy VI. You can find this game for free on Steam and itch.io. The reason it's free, I assume, is that the developer Scumhead wants to show us their skill and talent. Scumhead also has a couple of other titles you can check out. That's all from me for today. Thank you for watching and have a great rest of your day.